Okay, let me check the audio. Let's see if this works. We on? All right, today we are analyzing a deal. Here we go. Today we're analyzing a deal in Hitchcock, Texas. I saw this deal get posted, so we can always go ahead and look at a deal here. If any of you guys want to watch this on YouTube for the full screen version, I go to youtube.com/@Kent_HE. All right, it's Wednesday. Let's look at this deal. 7034 Sun Creek Drive. Just saw this posted, so I figured I'd take a look. Mortgage balance on this property is $270,000, 292.90, 3.49% interest rate. Principal 472.73, interest 788.86, HOA is $34, taxes and insurance is $974.78. Awesome. Okay, purchase price $291, entry fee is $20,000 plus closing costs. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get property on 7034 Sun Creek Drive. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at these photos. What's up, Victor, man? Always good to hear from you, man. All right, what are we doing? Let me stop the video. Maybe that's why it's lagging. No, I don't know why reference being so weird today. But for the most part, if I look on the left-hand side, for some reason it won't let me click on the photo. That's weird. It looks like mostly it's in a pretty good condition. There's some carpet. Maybe there's some paint and some carpet, but you definitely don't need new flooring in most of the home because there's only some carpeting in the bedroom. So I'm assuming I'm going to have some budget for painting and a little bit of flooring. But overall, on the left-hand side of this page, all the photos look pretty good. What county is this in? County. Huh. There we go. Galveston County. All right. So what we're going to do next is we are going to grab the FMR. When you Google HUD FMR, FMR stands for fair market rent. You can click on the top link and it'll bring you to this website called Small Area FMRs. Look up the FY 2024 Small Area FMRs, Texas, and this is in Galveston County. Zip code was 77563. So I'm going to go to 77563. And you can kind of see here, the fair market rent for a 3-bedroom is $1,560 and a 4-bedroom is $2,000. And this was how many bedrooms? This was a 3-bed. So theoretically, my ceiling rent for 77563 should be 1560. All right, so that's going to be the rent that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to note this on my Excel file right now just so I can have it. Now, I always grab the 4-bedroom rent because usually I look for creative ways to get additional rent. And in this scenario, 77563, I want to get the rents for a 4-bedroom because what if I am able to convert a space within an existing square footage into, I don't know why it's freezing, into additional bedroom because then I can charge extra rent. All right. The next thing we want to do is we wanted to go to owner section on affordablehousing.com and go to owner section in the market rent estimator. What we're trying to achieve here is we want to grab the market rent for this area because you want to compare the market rent of this area and compare that to the FMR, to the fair market rents, because there is a test, and that test is called the rent reasonableness test, which means that you theoretically cannot charge more for rent to a resident or a household simply because they are a voucher holder for the obvious reasons. Now, if you see here, the 1501 number for 20, so that means the average rent for 25 units within a 1.89 mile radius is $1,500. You compare that to $1,560. That's pretty close. So chances are you might be able to charge the full $1,560. However, if this was a much bigger significant variance, let's say this was $1,300. Well, all of a sudden you should be underwriting with $1,300 instead of $1,560 because the market rent has not theoretically caught up to what we're seeing on the fair market rents based on how HUD determines the formula for what the fair market rent is. Oh, this is interesting. All right. So when I change this to a 4 bedroom, I see that within a 2.91 mile radius for 25 units, it's actually 2032, which is great because if you remember what our FMR is for 77563 from the prior screen on HUD's website, which is right here, 2000. Great. So I can have pretty high confidence that if I turn this into a 4 bedroom property, I can get about $2,000 of rent for this property, which is good. Now I'm keeping this in the back of my mind so that as I'm going through and looking at this deal, is this actually a deal? All right. The next thing I want to do is I want to go and check out, let's see, what is the crime score in this area? So when you go to tophat.com, top/hap.com, well, now you're able to figure out what the crime index score is. So if you go down here on the left hand side and click on neighborhood, you should be able to get the crime score, which is right here, 135. That's a little high. I don't like that number a lot because I live in a roughly 90 and 100 is national average. 135 is pretty high. So I'm hoping there's at least some sort of justification or better cash flow for this property. So the next thing I want to do is let me just do a quick Google Street View. 707034 Sun Creek Drive in Hitchcock. Is there a street view here? Let's see. What am I looking at here? Oh, this looks like a pretty good neighborhood. And maybe this is like a brand new subdivision. Yeah, like look at this area. It's just like cul-de-sac, just like a single family. I don't know. This is one of the things where I don't really agree with that crime index score for this area. It might just be the zip code. Man, it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. So maybe there's some crime, but the population is 0. I have no idea what's going on with this area. I don't know this area, but hey, at least my street view looks pretty good. And it looks like it's in a gated community that has some sort of pride of ownership in this area. So I'm going to assume it's a pretty good spot, even though the crime score is a lot higher. So this is why it's so important for you guys to do these Google Street drive-bys, because if you don't just drive around and figure out like how does this area actually look, it's very, very hard to gauge like what does this crime index score mean? Because you could be in a downtown like Boston area where I used to live, and the crime index was really high, but I would argue it's a relatively safe area. But you never know when they bunch together crime stats based off of population within a big metropolis. So you never know. All right. So now that we got all of our deal details set aside, I am going to go ahead and share my Excel screen. While I'm pulling that out, if any of you guys want a copy of Excel, just DM me your email on Instagram to myself at investwithkenthe, KENTHE, and I can send this spreadsheet to you. What I've done is I've been very blessed. I've been given this spreadsheet by other folks, and I've just been able to modify it and adjust the formulas accordingly to suit what I need to analyze deals for Section 8 purposes. Now, this property was $291,000, $291,000. They're saying the principal balance of this property is 270,292.9 with a 3.49% interest rate. So just for you that are following, I'm sharing the screen right now on the website on youtube.com/@Kent_HE. All right. So 12 start date. When does this mature? They didn't give me a start date. So I'm just going to assume that it is what it is. I'm just going to leave that as. Principal is 472.73. Interest is 788. So this is a little bit lower. So I'm going to make up for those numbers by saying my PITI is 236.37 minus my principal minus my interest, and that gets me to back into the true amount. So just in case it's missing a decimal place here, maybe it's like 3.475, I don't know, 3.85, I don't know. You just want to back into what the person that's selling the deal is disclosing, because you assume that there is some sort of backup or paperwork that supports what the PITI is. Okay. Now 1024. Wow, that's really high. The monthly PI 2236. Well, I can tell this ain't gonna work right away, guys, because boom, even if you get the ceiling rent at a 3 bedroom at 1560, like you are well below what you need for this property. And at 2134, even I just put in 2134 and I'm only putting in new flooring for half the home, that's still a pretty significant amount of rehab. Even at, yeah, 17 grand. You might divide that by half. It's still not a deal because you're in a negative cash flow position. Now, what if I added $20,000 to this property and converted the garage or add extra bedroom? I got $2,000. Well, this is still not a deal because you're losing $720. Wow, this is not a deal. Because we have $20,000 cash to seller. There's still no closing cost yet on this property. We didn't even put that in yet. Equals that times 0.025. Boom. Now all of a sudden it's definitely not a deal. But yeah. Unless you're trying to live in this home or you're trying to wrap it to another buyer, like this isn't even close to it. I mean, what I'll do is I'll still write out the scenarios so that one, I have repetition and I know what I'm doing. Because guess what? At the end of the day, all I'm doing right now is just doing the reps, putting it in practice, and doing the work every day. This is the uncool part about real estate, and that is you are essentially underwriting deals every single day. But the more you do it, the more quickly you realize that you don't need to spend so much time. Now, for example, in this deal, right? If I were to quickly look at the deal and I saw that the PITI was listed as 2236.37, right? If I saw that PITI was that, and my goal, my exit strategy is not midterm rentals, short-term rentals, but it's Section A long-term rentals, and I know after looking at the HUD website for the FMR is 1560 and 2000, I might go right away and say, well, if the PITI is already higher than the ceiling rent on the HUD website, it is definitely not worth my time. Unless, especially if your goal is cash flow, unless your goal is like, hey, I'm just trying to break even and I'm investing in this area for appreciation, that's a different conversation, but that's not my strategy. So for you just got to understand what is your criteria, what are your goals, and determine how do you quickly filter out. Because I think the number one reason why people leave real estate is that they get burnt out. They analyze too many deals over the course of time, and they are never ever able to close on a deal because they spend too much time analyzing the wrong deals or don't have that rule of thumb with a framework to quickly leave a deal or stop analyzing a deal. Hi Rolando, it's time to get your deal analyzed. Hey Rolando, just send it to me. I don't really have a service to analyze deals for people, man. Just send it to me. I'm only doing this for about 28 more days. I don't really have anything to sell people. I am just doing these every single day because it's the holiday season and I am building a good habit of analyzing a deal live every day. So that's a habit I'm building. So what I'm doing right now is I'm simply just doing the work. I have no agenda, nothing to sell you guys. I hope you guys are able to take these skills, do this with me every single day, because ultimately at the end of the day, the goal here is to build a good habit, not to get a deal. It's very, very different goals. When your guy's goal is to fall in love with the process and simply go live every day, you will become better than 95% of America analyzing deals as long as you spend about 18 minutes doing a day, which we're doing essentially on average. So you're welcome to copy the same properties that I'm looking at. You guys are welcome to use the same calculator and then put it on your own YouTube channel, because I think that will help you guys win the most, and that will help you guys determine and create an undeniable track record of analyzing deals, so that when a deal comes across your plate and slaps you across the face, you can be like, oh, I know this is a deal. Or maybe you might be raising capital or looking for investors. And again, this is not a solicitation for investments. This is not investment advice. This is purely me documenting what I'm doing every single day. That's it. I'm just analyzing deals. So just send me a deal. And Joe, what time do these live sessions start? Honestly, I just do it whenever I have time in between meetings. So today I had a 30-minute time block. I got 15 minutes left before our next meeting. So that's why I'm doing it now. The whole point is to build a habit. And all of these are recorded. They're live on our YouTube channel. In the live section, they're recorded. So you are welcome to analyze them anytime. I mean, go through them anytime you want. I like to do it upon different days because I get different people that are just free at different points in time. I get to talk to different people during this time block. So again, copy what I'm doing, put it on your YouTube channel, and I hope you guys are able to raise a ton of capital and get a ton of investor goodwill, because eventually investors will ask you, hey, why do you think this is a good deal? And you can say, well, look at my YouTube channel. Here's the last 100 deals I looked at, and they were all not deals until I saw this one. So that's how we do it. This is us doing work together. Thank you so much for joining me on a Wednesday on Hump Day. Thank you, everybody, for caring about affordable housing. Without people like you guys, I would have never had the home I grew up in. So thank you so much for caring about it. We are on a mission to build the largest affordable housing investment community in the United States. And I hope you would take what I am doing today. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just super passionate about this. But take what I'm doing today and just pay it forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Have an amazing Wednesday. I will talk to you tomorrow.